President Trump traveled 3,800 miles to Paris for ceremonies marking the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. But when he was expected at an American cemetery just 50 miles from Paris on Saturday, he was a no-show because it was raining. White House said his helicopter was grounded due to the weather, so rather than get there via motorcade, the president sat out the weather at the American ambassador's residence in Paris, while his chief of staff, John Kelly, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff honored those fallen Americans. President Trump's failure to show up prompted widespread ridicule, from Winston Churchill's grandson calling it pathetic and inadequate, to the French army tweeting that rain is their Monday motivation. But the American president had other opportunities, like the solemn stroll of world leaders to the Arc de Triomphe on Sunday, a procession that he missed. He showed up to the ceremony separately. And then there was the event at another American cemetery in the suburbs of Paris, where he made snarky comments about the weather while welcoming veterans and honored guests.
Frank DeVita. Thank you, Frank. Thank you very much. You look so comfortable up there under shelter as we're getting drenched. You're very smart people.
Doesn't like the rain. The president returned to the United States, and today, when Veterans Day is observed, a day when presidents traditionally visit Arlington National Cemetery to pay respects on behalf of the nation, President Trump, who had literally nothing on his official public schedule, decided to stay at home and tweet about stopping the vote in Florida instead. Congressman Ruben Gallego of Arizona, an Iraq War veteran, member of the House Armed Services Committee, joins me now. What do you make of the last 48 hours in the president's observances?
I mean, how are we still surprised about this? This man started this election by denigrating the service of John McCain and other POWs. We see what he's doing with our troops at the border, essentially using them as props. He attacked a Gold Star family. You know, the president likes to use the troops for his political gain, but when it comes to personal sacrifice or any type of effort on his part, he won't go that extra mile. And thank God our military is not anything like that man is.
You know, you just mentioned the troops are at the border, 5,000 of them. There's some reporting on what they're actually doing. You know, they're reading MREs. They're in tents, 20 inside a tent, and they're 800 miles from the caravan, and where they're not even near Tijuana, where they're apparently going to enter. Like, those are real people who are really doing this. It's not just some abstract symbol. What do you think about it?
Well, look, I've been activated and you know, sent to a base for a whole year, and you know, at that point, it really does disrupt your life. We just disrupted many people's lives. We took them away from their families. We're taking them away for Thanksgiving, and all of a sudden, the president stopped talking about the caravan. Why did the president all of a sudden stop talking about the caravan? Because the election's over. So this is a stunt. It's costing us potentially $200 million for this stunt. And, you know, I think we all agree that we need more border security. We all agree that if you want to apply for asylum, you need to do it in a legal and safe manner. But the president should actually lead an effort to do that, to work with our southern neighbors, and even to work with us to actually come up with a solution, not just use our political troops as a stunt, and actually focus on really trying to help them out.
I want to ask you this about the story I asked Senator Gillibrand about this GI benefits screw-up. Ongoing IT issues at VA. This is to be kind of a train wreck. That's what Phil Rowe said, the chairman of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. You got folks who cannot make their house payments or rental payments because of this. Why? How is this happening?
Well, look, as a recipient of the GI Bill, this actually also happened to me as a younger man, and once in a while I just did not get my payment.
Wow.
And luckily I had a school that was very lenient, and they understood, and they gave me some time until I got paid. But what happens right now is, you know, the president is not focused on the VA. The VA is not really being run by the VA administrator. It's by a group of men and women that are meeting down at Mar-a-Lago. There is no expertise, and this needs to be some true focus. This will affect people's credit scores. People are going to get kicked out of their homes. I've already been reading stories about it. At the same time, I think this is also a really good opportunity for you know, private industry and banks. You know, we bailed out banks back in 2008. Maybe they could actually step up and actually give these veterans a little help in the meantime, considering that they know that the GI Bill is going to come in. Eventually, they are going to get paid, and let's help them so they don't end up getting evicted.
Final question. The president has never visited American service members stationed overseas, particularly in fields of combat. And it's notable, he said he was too busy to do that, though he has time for rallies and for tweeting Fox and Friends. What do you think of that?
For me, it's disturbing. Like when I was in Iraq, and we saw a lot of combat, and I unfortunately lost a lot of friends. It was important that members of Congress and senators came and visited us in the field, so we had an opportunity for them to talk, and they could actually see the impacts of war. I think the president is avoiding his duty by not visiting the troops overseas. I'm not saying he has to be in the front line. God knows we never want to do that to any president. But even Abraham Lincoln would be visiting some of the Civil War fields in the middle of the Civil War, exposing himself to potential danger, against the Confederacy. The president could at least get on Air Force One and go visit them in Afghanistan, or for example, in Iraq, or portions of Kuwait, where we still have a lot of active troops that go into Iraq. There's a lot of ways he could do this. It's a very symbolic thing, but it is very important, and it does matter to our troops overseas.
All right, Congressman Ruben Gallego, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.